While many of us will hopefully be enjoying a peaceful and tranquil Christmas, some Londoners will be waking up to the sounds of drilling and demolition. Rail works are scheduled to take place in Camden in North London on Christmas Day and in Deptford in South East London on Boxing Day. Network Rail say it's the only time they can do the work that's needed, but residents are less than impressed. Meanwhile, with severe disruption to rail services expected in the coming days and weeks, we'll be live with Jenny Longden at London Bridge to hear how journeys will be affected. But first, Simon Harris on the people whose Christmas will be far from peaceful.
The season of peace and goodwill has a special meaning when you live next to a railway line. When the trains stop on Christmas Eve, silence descends. But across London, the railway's neighbours are facing up to a different seasonal noise nuisance. In Camden, these old carriage sheds are due to be bulldozed to make way for the new high-speed 2 line to Birmingham, and the work begins on Christmas Eve.
Those works are going to continue throughout Christmas Eve night, right through Christmas Day, Christmas night, Boxing Day, and to finish on the 28th of December.
I appreciate this work has to be done, but what we're asking is simply that Christmas Day is a free day. Surely these people who make these rules and regulations, they must have a Christmas somewhere and know the importance to the people. It's not a very good way to start this project.
Camden is only one of a number of Christmas construction sites. This is St John's at Deptford in South East London, where the station yard will host an army of engineers working on the tracks.
Residents here are not happy either because they know what to expect. Living next to a 24-hour construction site has become something of a Christmas tradition.
4 Christmases ago, St John's echoed to the sound of reversing lorries and diggers as Network Rail replaced a bridge. The Snow family has unhappy memories of sleepless nights interrupted by noise and the curtain-penetrating glow from powerful arc lights.
This is the second time in 4 years that we've been interrupted in this way at Christmas, and we've been given less than 3 weeks' notice so that we can't make alternative arrangements.
Network Rail said the yard was a crucial access point, allowing engineering teams to get their heavy equipment onto the tracks.
We do our best to keep our neighbours informed, those that live near the railway, of the work that we're carrying out, particularly at Christmas time. And there is never an ideal time to carry out engineering work. But at Christmas, when trains aren't running, we can get 24,000 engineers out there to deliver a bigger and better railway for passengers.
In Camden, it's just the beginning of the massive scheme to build HS2. Homes will be demolished and the work will last beyond the next decade. This is unlikely to be the only Christmas where residents have to grin and bear it. Simon Harris, ITV News, Camden.
And those works are just some of the major rail upgrades across London, which will severely affect services between Christmas and beyond New Year. Jenny Longden is at London Bridge for us, which is one of the stations that will be affected. Jenny, it seems that many services in and out of the capital will either be scrapped altogether or at least delayed.
Yes, that's right. If you are staying in London over the next 2 weeks and you're planning to use the rail network, then be warned, you are likely to face at least some disruption. One of the worst affected stations will be Paddington, where there will be no trains at all from Christmas Eve up until, well, for 6 days, Christmas Eve for 6 days. There'll then be a reduced service until January the 2nd, and one of the trains affected will be the Heathrow Express. Another station that will be affected is Liverpool Street Station, where many of the trains will be replaced by buses. Upgrades on the Thameslink network mean that many trains will be diverted from that station, from London Bridge, from Charing Cross and from Cannon Street until December the 28th. At Waterloo, engineering works mean that passengers will face extended journey times until January the 3rd. Basically, if you are travelling by train, then make sure you check before you travel.
And Jenny, it's not what we want to hear, but more misery down the line for tube users as well.
Yes, that's right. Now, we did hear some good news today, and that is that a planned tube strike on Christmas Eve on the Central Line has been called off. But the RMT union have said today that they are planning to hold a strike on the 8th of January. That will start at 6 o'clock and that will involve thousands of tube staff. That is in an ongoing dispute over job losses and ticket office closures. Now, the RMT union do say that they do hope between now and then to get back around the table with Transport for London to sort this dispute out.
The thousands of fantastic tube staff who work on those stations are under incredible pressure and stress right now just to keep the place ticking over. That's not acceptable, and therefore we need these talks to start again, but we need the management to come to them and treat them seriously and properly and be resourced to fix the problem.
Now, Transport for London have responded to that planned strike today, saying that following previous talks, they are recruiting additional staff for stations, adding they'll continue working with unions to ensure customers feel safe. They're calling for unions to work with them rather than threatening strike action.
All right, Jenny Longden, thank you.